And welcome back to another gameplay video by Green&Blue walkthrough of Forza Motorsport 7. This time on Xbox One. And this one, it is an Xbox Play Anywhere. Nice. And which, by the way, I did mess up last time. I did not have my USB hub, which is what my controller was plugged into, connected to the computer. So that's throwing me off. I'm pretty sure that was the issue, not actually the game. But anyway, I've been playing this game the last week or so, and it's awesome. I love it. It is definitely my favorite Forza so far, which it dethroned Forza Motorsport 3, which was the thing that happened. Forza Motorsport 3 was my favorite Forza for, well, ever since I played it. It was the Forza I spent the most time in. And unfortunately, even though this game is only 2 years old, and the newest Forza to this is Forza Horizon 4, the multiplayer is more or less dead. There's still people playing it, but not a lot, not as much as there should be, and unfortunately, Forza Motorsport 4 had the crazy idea of restricting cars to almost stock, but not really. Like, restricting them into certain groups. Not classes like before, like in Forza Motorsport 3, which was fine. Why did they feel they needed to mess it up? I don't understand. Maybe to make it more like Forza Horizon 4, but Forza Motorsport 3 had a better multiplayer than Forza Horizons because it had actual multiplayer. Forza Horizons just has co-op, campaign co-op, which is sad that Forza Motorsport 7 doesn't have that. Hopefully it's back in Forza Motorsport 8 for the Xbox Series X, also known as the next box. By me and me alone. But anyway, because, like I said in the last video, since I'm getting a new car, or I'm getting my first car, that might get a new car, I'm getting a car, I won't be able to get any console this year, so if the PS5 is over $300, won't be getting it. It will likely be over $300, and even then, at $300, I don't think we will be able to get it. Not at the time of getting the car in September. If Nintendo releases a Nintendo or Switch Pro, I don't think we'll get that either, even though it'll likely be well $300 and no more. Well, probably more like $400 or $500 maybe. Definitely not $500 because Xbox was barely able to sell its console at $500. So was PlayStation. PS3 was $500 when it released. Xbox One was $500 when they released, and both lost the console war in their eras. With Nintendo has always won the console war by being the cheapest and frankly best quality and just best everything, just not the best performance. But yeah. But we'll see with more processors what the Switch Pro can be. But even then, those are $800. Even then, if you want a $500, if you want something to compete with $500 console, it needs to be $500 of mobile hardware. So yeah. But anyway, well, on the topic of a new car, I've been getting cars just to get a feel for what the brand performance is. Just about, because that's not really good measurement either. You shouldn't be getting a new car based on the car in a simulation. Even in the video game, even in a simulation, you shouldn't be doing that because you need to be in the car, you need to feel its controls. Because by far the biggest difference between video game driving and wheel driving is getting used to a gigantic steering wheel and two weird things under your feet. That's what you gotta get used to, and also you gotta get used to the crazy common thing of using one foot driving, which is weird. I don't know why people do it. I mean, it's mostly for a safety thing, but you have 2 feet and there are 2 pedals, and pedals are spaced apart. Okay, but anyway, But anyway, so basically, I just wanted to get a feel for how Fords perform. Well, you know, D-class Fords, and this is the Ford Fiesta ST. I upgraded the engine block in order to get its horsepower up to 220, which is roughly the power of it's roughly the power of what Ford thinks the Ford Escape plug-in, well, the 2020 Ford Escape plug-in will be. But I say roughly because the Ford Escape plug-in is going to be 221 horsepower. And what I realized that when driving the Ford Fiesta is front-wheel drive sucks. Unless you want to drift, it's amazing for drifting. But as long as as long as stability control is off, you basically what this car does, it goes left. When you start turning, it's locked in the turn. And when you correct, it gets locked in that turn. When you correct a third time, and only a third time, it overcorrects, and then could roll. Every single time. It's weird. And this is a Fiesta, which is a hatchback, not a crossover, which means it's slower to the ground, I think, and its center of gravity is much lower. I mean, the plug-in will help by having a bigger battery in the back, but to help keep the back planted, because basically the issue is, your back tires not having power is far worse than your front tires not having power, because your back tires don't turn. So in the rear-wheel drive car, if the rear wheels get from under you, what you do is you let the gas and you're fine. In a forward-wheel drive car, there's not much you can do because the back tires do nothing other than support the back end up. It's not good. I think the only reason why people have four-wheel drive cars is because it's slightly more efficient to have the transmission go straight from the engine to the wheels than it is to lose energy going underneath the car. But yeah, so it's a thing. I don't like it, but unfortunately the plug-in, the Ford Escape plug-in only has front-wheel drive because they couldn't figure out how to get the transmission to the back tires like in the normal hybrid version with the bigger plug-in battery. Which, the interesting thing is, Lincoln, which is a Ford brand, which is a Ford luxury brand, figured it out with the Corsair, is called put in electric motors in the back. I don't know why Ford doesn't have that as an option. As an option for either $2,000, $5,000, or even $10,000. It's silly to me that Ford does not do that on their mainstream car, but they allow it on their luxury car. It makes sense for a luxury car because it has extra features. But yeah, which made me look at the Lincoln and go, how bad is $10,000? And it turns out for our budget, it's bad. It's kind of maybe sort of possibly possible for us to get a $50,000 car, especially if we can get it lowered to somewhere in the 40s, hopefully 41. But that's not the Escape, which to plug-in we could get lowered to the low 30s to even the high 20s. High 20s would be preferable. So it's just not feasible for us to get the Lincoln, and besides, we're not the type of people to be driving Lincolns or any luxury car. It's just not our way. Despite how shiny they make their cars. And I like shiny things. But anyway. So this is the Ford Fiesta ST, which I got. As you can see, I have it wrapped. Another thing which I don't like, another downgrade of Forza Motorsport 7 coming from Forza Motorsport 3 is they don't have other colors. It's just normal colors and that's it. They don't have candy, they don't have metal. It's just they don't have matte. It's just this weird normal color which I really, really don't like. I would prefer any of the other three as an option, but they don't have that. As you can see, they still have the crazy colors like gold, which you got on my rims, which is basically Halo 2 Easter egg of the Hog, which was a luxury warthog, or luxury civilian warthog. So yeah. That's why I like it there. And as you can see, green, blue on the doors, my emblem on the hood, and basically that's it. Maybe have on the rear. Whoop, that's battle. Maybe have on my rear passenger doors, my my YouTube on the real version. And actually, maybe not. Maybe we can just make the maybe we can just make the layer in the layer editor. But yeah, I mean, the layer editor in Forza Motorsport 7 is really nice. So maybe and then my YouTube on the back as well. I really need a website at this point, but anyway. Also, something I completely forgot about is this thing that came with the game. I want to try it in today's video. I also got the Focus RS, which isn't really comparable. Moving on to my Lambo, which I just got. I got painted up. This is the Hurricane. And it's not a good selection of Lambos in Forza Motorsport 7. But good selection, I mean, they don't have the recent ones. And it turns out Forza Motorsport 7 has the cars before the refresh. Basically, it's, as you saw with the Fiesta, and the Hurricane as well, it's basically whatever model year is the first model year for that car. And that's it. It's kind of silly. It really is silly. But it works. It does work from the standpoint of it working. Mazda to try out the Mazda Speed 3, which is close enough. Close you're going to get in Forza Motorsport 7 to the CX-30. Because the CX-30 is built off the Mazda 3, the Mazda Speed 3 is built off the Mazda 3, so therefore they're the same car. I'm joking. To see it up, and I really like the performance of Mazda. It turns, it accelerates, it goes fast, it's everything you want in a vehicle. Except a plug-in. Oh, whoops. I gotta stop doing that. That's not how you do things. And Porsches. I got this lime green guy. Moving on. Toyota, I was curious. Does the Toyota Big Steering apply in Forza? Yes it does. It's really surprisingly, is Forza actually emulated the steering for each car, which is really, really nice. So that Toyota Big Steering, where basically you turn the wheel by looking at the actual in-game steering wheel, you turn it 20 degrees, and then you start turning. And this is the Arctic truck, so basically it wants to roll It basically wants to roll after 30 miles an hour. But it's teaching me how not to roll. Oh, and also the last one, which the car we're actually going to take out right now. Actually, no, before that, Cadillac. Because my grandma always wanted a Cadillac, and I wanted to try one in Forza. Got it in the only sensible color for a Cadillac. Got my Dodge Charger, which I'm surprised it turns. Which I am surprised the Cadillac goes fast in a straight line, but does not turn. It's basically the Cadillac has become Dodge. Dodge has become Ford. Ford has become European. But anyway, Charger Daytona, one of my favorite cars of all time, and definitely my favorite of the old NASCARs. And finally, the car I'll be checking out in this video, or in the next video, whatever comes first. The Ariel Atom. One of pretty much my favorite absurd car of all time. It's pretty much a street buggy. And there's a really good track for it. There's actually a few really good tracks for it. I just gotta find it. I think this is the one I want. Show me more. That's it. This is the one I want. Let's go. Actually, let's try drag racing for putting this thing on the drag stuff. Now this is upgraded. It's not default performance. Which, actually, in real life, as you could probably expect for how much car you get. Oh, I think I got the game confused. But yeah, so pretty much so pretty much in real life, this is one of the cheapest one of the cheapest ways to go 200 miles an hour that you can get. It's $70,000, which, by the way, is 10,000 more than, or is 5,000 more than a Ford Mustang 350, or at least what we can find sold at. I mean, you get less power than the Mustang, but if you want to go 200 miles an hour, you can go 200 miles an hour. And yes! 1, 2, 3, go! And yes, this sucker can beat actual dedicated race cars when it's upgraded. It's hilarious. Now that does make me wonder, because it's P class. P is, I think P replaces R1 from old Forza. But yeah, which does make me wonder, can this be a Bugatti? Because back in the day, I used to be the guy who wanted to be a Bugatti with literally anything else. I was not a Datsun person. A Datsun, by the way, is imagine how you draw a car. You know, a bigger box, and another box. A Datsun is that. When you fully upgrade the Datsun, because it's so light and you've got good upgrade options, it can beat a Bugatti. The Ariel Atom, I don't remember if it was, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was in Forza Motorsport 3. But if it were, I mean, but, you know, if I do unlimited drag and find someone with a Bugatti, will I be able to beat the Bugatti? They're not in the same class, however, I don't think. I don't know what, actually, what class is the Bugatti in? Capri, okay. And back is also another Street Buggy. Bugatti, what class are you? R! It will be a Bugatti. That's hilarious. I mean, it makes complete sense. You put a gigantic engine in this tiny thing, you're going to be a Bugatti. It's what happens. It's only logic. Oh, come on. Okay, experimental drag is like a normal drag race. This is its own thing, gotcha, accept. Okay, let's do this. I haven't done this yet. Whoever you pair me with, I'm gonna be. Yeah, I wish this game had the ability to put to race against any car you want. Like set up who your opponents are, or if there is one, I haven't found it. Yeah, you gotta find which track is which lines. Now let's see what happens in the quarter mile. Please Bugatti, please Bugatti. Oh, it's that race car again. See ya. Fifth? Who beat me? Fordox? Which are old race cars, okay. They have acceleration. Okay, now let's get serious and actually, you know, race. Yeah. Like, that's where I would put race setup. Yeah, I think 5 laps is when it when it comes up normally. Which, by the way, mods are basically they're skulls from Halo. They're difficulty adjusters. You know, they're cheat codes, difficulty adjusters, stuff like that. Basically, what they're for is they're for new arriving at environment, Bernese Alps track festival circuit. Therefore, people to help, you know, therefore to help keep people, therefore they're there to give people a reason to turn off assists, pretty much. Okay, here we go. Everyone start inside. Yes, we are. Because it's so small, it actually fits pretty much in any of the starting formations. Although it doesn't turn as much as I like, but that's what you get for it with a small wheelbase. And I have no idea why you always start and back. There is, under no circumstance do I start and not back. It's so weird. The nice thing about this track is, like, you're on the mountain road. You can imagine the cold wind going through your hair, or I guess your helmet in this case. And it's just a really nice track to take this guy out on because the curves are not ridiculous. You got plenty of road to slide on. And it's just really nice. Although, to be fair, if you get hit by one of these guys who are gigantic compared to you, you're thrown. There is no way you're adjusting from that impact. You're going into the wall. You're stopped in the road. It's just not good. And actually, I'm just not noticing I'm tired because because my eyes are a bit blurry. That's what happens when I'm tired. So this is fun. This is gonna be fun, trying to win. I mean, we already got a position, but the straightaways is what this guy excels at. What are you guys doing? We were doing so well. Wait, sorry, it's the dumb wires are getting in the way. Like sometimes they always will mess up, especially in race cars. As you saw that time, they didn't mess up. They didn't mess up on the second go around. Also, this car does drift a lot, even in all-wheel drive. These are the Warthogs. And also, another thing which saddens me about Forza Motorsport 7 is the AI are so dumb. They act like they're cars on a roller coaster. They stick to the race line and they seem to disobey the laws of physics and the laws of good driving because on higher difficulties they ultimately cheat. They don't stop like you. They don't act like normal cars. They just act like the race line is God, and they stick to it 100% no matter what. No matter what car they're in, no matter the actual, their actual stopping distance or acceleration, that line is basically they're on it, and that's it. It's so dumb. How did we get here? Forza Motorsport 7 3 had better AI than this. They even crashed. They even crashed to emulate real players. It was fantastic. What happened? Oh yeah, so that makes the higher difficulty AI just not fun to play against, and I lost it. I think I have the air conditioner on too. It's so weird. It gets warm in here. I mean, well, I am I'm recording, which always gets my blood flowing, which ultimately raises my, lowers the temperature I need to actually do good. Which the first time this race came up when I was in the Ariel Atom, I was able to win, but this time they're not making it easy on me. Like for example, like in old Forza Motorsports about the AI, and by the way, you see those modern day assists arrows, those are nice. But in that old Forza Motorsports 3 is they were like the cars were actually normal. Like normal cars, and you can actually pass them because they brake like normal people do, not like, well, a roller coaster. And also, they knew you existed, too. Nowadays, in Forza Motorsport 7, they don't know you exist. So they will run into you at full speed without even trying to brake, because I don't know why. I don't know what happened to the AI. How did the AI lose, AI-ness? How did it become less smart? I don't understand this. Wait, hold on. Mouse try. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't mute myself anymore because I don't want to find myself unmuted. And also, this car really hates changing elevations. And I really think this car should turn more. Or at least the guy actually should use the steering wheel. I'm not saying that they're wrong, I'm saying that I wish it did. Yeah, look too far ahead. Make one mistake against, against guys with bigger engines than you, and you lose. No matter what place in the race you do, you lose. And it's above average. Above average is about as difficult as you can get without them being race gods, where they just follow the race line perfectly. Above average, they're good, but they're not, they don't cheat. They may cheat, but they don't show it nearly as much as yeah, I should not be playing this hard. And this is another reason why I don't drive Ariel, because I get tired really easily. I sleep 12 hours. If I sleep 12 hours, I'm good for 10. I'm good to drive for 10 hours. And also, it's like when I'm actually awake, it's in the middle of the night when I can't drive because it's 10, and also my grandpa's asleep. He goes to bed at 8, so yeah. Which, by the way, in Florida, if you have a learner's permit, after so and so months, you can drive till like 10:30. Yeah, I got the guy on my right. No. And also, I like doing this sometimes. I was staring at that safety feature. Or blind spot assist. I think that's what it's called in real life. Oh, there it is. See, they don't care about you. They don't care that you're struggling to survive because you're in tiny. You're in basically a. Let's McLaren. That's how. McLaren also has the speed advantage like me. But yeah, I mean, since you're in this tiny little thing, you're open literally everywhere. It's like a motorcycle. Driving into these big cars, and it's also it's also very race car like that turn always gets me. Which also I don't have the turning at speed issue IRL because I'm not trying to go as fast as possible and trying to break it the last possible second. I'm trying to do that in real life. So oh come on, McLaren. Up there's the change of elevation. Oh, there's the bump, and you just lose it. We're stuck on the win. Nope, no slide. Yeah, wasn't able to do first. I guess I didn't do nearly as good, and again, I'm tired, so I didn't realize. Again, like when I first get tired, I don't realize how tired I am until I actually start doing something, and then I realize how tired I am. It's really, really dumb, and I don't like it. So yeah, doing Forza when I'm this tired is not exactly the best idea. I'll have some training myself to drive when I'm tired. Because, like, the thing is, I got up at 11, it's 9:50 right now, so it's almost 12 hours. Like I said, like, my last 2 hours being awake is not the best. And if I don't want to drive, I definitely don't want to drive like that, as you kind of saw by me lagging first. Although that was fair because they were doing really good this time. Also, were they on above average? Oh, I think so. I would think really much. Yeah. By the way, limit aggression doesn't do much because they don't care you exist. Basically, limit aggression means they won't try to run into you. They will still run into you, but they won't actively try doing it. Alright, but anyway, that'll be it for this session. Thanks for watching. That'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Do appreciate watching this video. It means a lot to me. It means me, viewer, to check out, if you want to check out the stuff on the screen, including your Story Life Framework 2040s, where you can all the trying these different friends as they want missions without maintaining the perfect world they have built over the last 15 years. Alright, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. And I guess, see you in a second.